Welcome to the Hooch, where the only place more messed up than your hosts is the barracks on a Friday night or the VA. So get ready to stand by for your weekly dose of toilet humor and shenanigans from your fellow veterans, Coy Mac and Michael Grizzled Grunt Harris.
Welcome back to the Hooch, everybody. The guy Coy Mac here and Michael Harris, as always. Year and fuck.
Yeah,
It's the only thing I gotta say. Like, this meme perfectly, right, encapsulates the year. It's the standing side by side and like, this is getting out of hand. Now there were two of them from episode 1, if you remember that. Darth Maul and Sidious there together. I feel like that is exactly what is going on this year. Is there's somebody out there just saying this, you know what would be funny, right? Is for season 2 we have a dude dress up as the Man Bear Pig, storm the Capitol building, and take pictures of himself. That's what we like. That's what they decided in the writers' room up in the alien spaceship, because like before all this craziness, they were like slowly start leaking out that, you know, aliens are real, and UFOs are a thing. None of this shit would have happened if you all motherfuckers would have stayed home on that Area 51 raid.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so
none of this shit would have happened.
So this is round 2 fight.
Yeah.
You know, round 1 was 2020. 2020 was a shit show. 2021 just started. We're what? How many days in? 7 days in, and it's shitty.
We made it 6 days before the first incident.
Before the first incident.
We need to have a tally this year where it says how many days since an incident happened. Where we reset today, so it's 0 days without incident.
Yeah, I'm worried about this year very much, and it started off horribly yesterday. More shit show to come, man. Just prepare yourself for round
I don't think
2.
I don't think there is anybody right now that doesn't understand what happened yesterday. The Capitol was breached for Trump's speech that happened there. And I've got to admit, okay, before we get into the serious things aside, I got to admit, this guy has a serious set of brass balls to go in there and sit on the speaker seat.
Oh, that's so awesome.
He's probably good. After this, he's facing federal time.
Whatever.
Because
it's the people.
No, I mean, no, that's what everybody's calling for right now. It's like
it's
federal
the
time
people's
for all
house.
these people.
It's the people's building, not those politicians. So,
but you can't breach it. It's illegal.
They breached it, or were they allowed in? Because I can show you some footage of where the gates were open and the cops open.
There are situations where the police did let them through the barricades, but they actually breached the house.
No, the police actually let them in the building. Too. There's another video. I'll send it to you.
It's still
theatrics, man. It's all theatrics. You know, it's bullshit. I don't think you got to think about how many patriots were at that rally. If they really wanted to take over, how many the number was out there, if they all decided to storm the freaking, the Capitol building, it would have been over. It would have been done.
Like, that's one of the things that I keep the definitions that we're using is like there are people labeling as domestic terrorists, rioters, seditious behavior. An attempted coup, and it's like I'm thinking to myself is like that wouldn't, like, if you were actually, that wouldn't be it. What I really think would happen was a bunch of stupid people got together with a bunch of other stupid people, and they did a bunch of dumb shit, and now they're facing federal jail time. That's more what I think happened. No. People just lemminged right through the fucking doors.
Okay.
Without thinking.
First off, I'm not going to call them stupid. There are pro-Americans out there that were pissed off about the way the election went. When Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and all these other cocksuckers were out there, no one said anything. They were called peaceful protests,
Oh yeah,
and they were
the
burning.
hypocrisy.
I mean, you
here
had
is
CNN
palpable.
doing interviews or filming out there in front of a burning building. Like the peaceful protest, everything down. They were pissed off. They were pissed off that Mike Pence, turncoat Pence, turned on them. Wouldn't you be pissed off if your number two turned on you? You'd be mad too. You'd be pissed off.
No, I get I get the anger. I really do. I get why they are doing this in the first place, but I just think that it made everything worse. I don't think how do you put that? It's like I don't think this was appropriate. I don't think it was the right move. I everything back to a point that now it just gives I posted yesterday. It just gives the left legitimacy to do what they've already been doing, right? They're already been pushing for censorship. They're already saying the right are these fascists that just want to take over the United States. They want to end what is the United States and our version of the United States. Now it gives them legitimacy to continue what they've been doing and to ostracize and oppress the right. That's all this gave. That's all it really
Here's
gave.
The thing. Were they saying that same thing about George Washington when he took over or when he fought the queen or the king or the crown or whatever you want to call it? They call saying he's crazy. What is he doing?
Yeah.
He's anti this, anti that. But without him doing what he did, we wouldn't have the country that we have now. So what those citizens did, they have the right to do.
But they also have the right. This is what I was going to say about that. Is
the politicians don't own that building. That's the people's building. It's always been the people's building. The people have the right to go in there. The people have the right to do what they have to say. The people have the right to voice there. These silly politicians and these silly fucking lawyers, I won't even call them politicians. I call them dirty, crooked lawyers, hide in that building behind all this security. Big doors, CIA or whatever, and everything's up in there guarding their ass, Capitol Police. Everyone's guarding these people. They're never held accountable. So what that did to me, in my opinion, it put that fear factor in their ass. You're not safe.
Oh, definitely.
It
definitely scared the politicians. That's one of the outcomes we got out of this is they scared them and realized that they weren't safe.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good and bad at the same time. A good thing is that we now know there is a security loophole there that they're going to be doing that. Lindsey Graham just had a press conference where he was saying that they are going to start a task force in order to deal with domestic terrorists, including Antifa and the like that have been burning down cities and attacked Portland and all those. Which I was going to say is that with your thing about Washington before is the thing about revolutions and civil wars is you only get to be right if you win.
I guess we got to win, right?
And right now, the right, we are wrong in this matter. Not. I'm just saying in the light of what the information war is happening, the fifth generational warfare that we're having right now, the information war, the right has lost with this one.
Yes,
and that's the problem.
I can agree.
Is now it's set everything back.
No.
Because we lost the information war right now. The culture war right now is losing because
we're not going to lose though. It's not over. No matter what people think, no matter what people say, I'm not going to believe that it's over until January 21st when I wake up in the morning and, Jim is the president of the United States. Until then.
I don't think it's going to get better under
until
Biden.
Then.
It's really not. It's only going to escalate.
Until then, I don't care what the politicians say. I don't care what the media says. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
People showed the force that we have, the power we have yesterday. That's just a smidget of what we can do. Imagine if the 75 million to 80 million Americans that voted for them. Just think about that. That was only a couple thousand. Just imagine if all those patriots were like, screw this shit, we're done. We're done. We're tired of these crooked politicians stealing stuff. It's already been proven in Georgia, the election in Georgia the day before yesterday, that the voting machines were hooked to the internet, which is illegal.
Yeah, there are tons
Come
of
on, dude.
issues. Election. There's a lot of irregularities that happened. There was a lot of things that need to be investigated, and I think they deserve to be investigated. But the problem is, what happened yesterday just overshadows everything that could have been done. Especially everything that Trump's done up until this point is now being overshadowed by what happened. And that's the problem, is that and me personally, I don't like this. I think it's disgusting. I think the whole thing sucks, because I can't be a hypocrite. Black Lives Matter riots in Portland and other places, burning people's businesses down and trying to take out the federal courthouse, and not condemn people that invaded the Capitol building. I can't be a hypocrite like that.
I'm a hypocrite. So the Black Lives Matter movement and Antifa, they were writing over social issues that are usually at a state level, state level. So they were writing over. Well, that's a state level issue. That's not the president's job. That's a single issue in that state, in that county, in that city. These patriots are out there doing it over a national issue. This affects us. Whatever happened to some dude in bumfuck fucking Chicago, that has nothing to do with what goes on here and where I live in Texas. You know what I mean? It doesn't affect me at all. Do I feel for it? Do I feel it's a fucked up situation and happened to him? Yes. But it doesn't affect me as an individual. This election affects me.
And I get that. Is that's why I say I understand the frustration had with feeling disenfranchised. And like, we live in two separate realities in America right now. Like, there are two distinct worldviews that are at play. And the people that were there at the rally yesterday, the riot, whatever you want to call it now, they felt disenfranchised by what the courts did, by what the election did. They felt that when they like most of the lawsuits that were brought up by different people, Trump didn't bring up all those lawsuits. Most of them were thrown out because of technicalities. They weren't thrown out because of the merits of the case. They never actually saw any of the evidence to the cases that they had and what they were presenting. And that was the problem. They felt disenfranchised because the courts did not see the evidence into the merits of the case. They threw it out because of technical reasons. Right. And when you push people into a corner, that's what happens. Right. That's why we had Antifa and BLM doing these riots, because in their worldview, they felt that they were backed into a corner. Whether we believe it's right or wrong doesn't matter. To them, they believe it's right.
All right.
And that's what we're facing right now, is they believed it was the right thing to do.
I agree with what they did. I agree that, you had the one guy up there on that freaking stand that could have stopped this steal, but he didn't. Fucking turncoat, Mike Pence, you piece of shit. And we always knew it. We always don't edit that out. He is a piece of shit, and we called it.
You know me, I don't edit anything out.
But we called it. And we talked about this, I think, episodes ago when I said Mike Pence is a freaking...
Mike Pence has always been the establishment.
Like,
he's always been there in the back.
He's a Judas, and I posted something on TikTok today. I was like, et tu, Brute? And he's always been that guy.
just shank him right in the back.
Do you really think Trump picked Mike Pence? No. A Bush picked Mike Pence.
No, the establishment
picked Mike Pence. And the establishment picked Mike Pence. So Mike Pence was that insider. They probably thought that something was going to bad happen to Trump, and then Pence was going to be that LBJ that takes over. It never happened. So in my belief, here's what I believe, is that I think the Insurrection Act is going to happen, and there's going to be a lot of people going to jail here soon for treason. Sedition.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
No, I mean, the sedition is what they're already talking about with people. That's finding whoever was in the building.
That's not sedition, though. That's not sedition, because they weren't trying to overthrow the government. They weren't trying to.
They were stopping a constitutional process that was happening at the time, and therefore it makes it sedition.
That's yeah. I wouldn't call that sedition. What I say sedition is the Democratic Party making up shit to remove a duly elected president. For 4 years, we heard Russia collusion, his taxes. We heard this, we heard that, his kids. They talked about his kids. You had videos of Donald Trump getting shot or stabbed or his head chopped off. All these politicians stood for it.
I was going
to say it's going to be at a higher level than what we think. These politicians know.
They're already talking about trying to remove Republican politicians from Congress over this. And I think there's back on to what you were saying is that I think the Democrats have a lot to play in this. It's because for 4 years they have been doing nothing but trying to get rid of the dude that people rightfully elected. So now they're saying that this is happening, and so it's fair, and it's like they were just waiting for this incident to happen. Like they've been waiting for 4 years for this to happen. Just an excuse. They've been waiting for the excuse to happen, and they gave it to them. That's why I'm so upset. Is they gave them the ammunition that they needed, the legitimacy that to fulfill the wishes that they wanted in the first place, which was to get rid of Donald Trump, to eliminate the possibility of any competition from Republicans. Because now for the next 4 years, they're going to have their like, shut up, your supporters are the ones that did this and this and this. And like they went into the, blah, blah. They're going to bludgeon them with that for years.
Oh, well.
That gave them a tremendous amount of political capital that they're going to just rake that in and use as much as possible.
You know, what's funny is that, for years, 4 years, the Democrats have been anti-Trump supporters. Even during the election, you had Kamala Harris's and other, Democrats saying that we're going to hunt them down. We're going to find out who they are. We're going to their lives.
The Truth and Reconciliation Convention.
And we're going to ruin their lives. And they've been threatening us ever since this election started. And then all of a sudden they turn around and said, oh, unity and all this. We need to come together and we're going to extend the olive branch. Most of us were fine. We were happy with the election. It was you fuck faces that were out there, fuck Donald Trump and Nazis and, fascists and all this other stuff. They tried
to pull the same bullshit with Trump and Hillary. Your electors should not do this, and like they were calling for the same shit. So don't pretend that you're all high and mighty up on your fucking cloud of perfectness. Is you were calling for the same exact shit. Like everybody's responsible for this mess that we're fucking in. Like that's the thing that pisses me off. Are so much of a hypocrite that they can't see their own actions have led to this, especially with them calling for like why I don't understand why there aren't uprisings all over the place. And that was Nancy Pelosi, by the way, who said that. I was like, I don't understand why there aren't more in cities across America. It's like, it's only okay
when leftists do it
to burn and destroy is when Antifa does it, because they have protection. They have protection from the mainstream media. They have lawyers protecting them in the background from the ACLU and a few other places. They have corporations protecting them even. And that's the problem is like the people that happened yesterday, they don't have protections. They're all going to jail. There's none of them that are getting off of that. They're all going to jail. Like that's all there is to it. I don't think it's fair. I really don't. I don't think it's fair that the left can get away with all of the bullshit that they've been doing for months and burning and looting and causing billion. Oh, here's an interesting thing. The fact that BL and the riots that happened over last year caused billions of dollars worth of damages and received billions of dollars in donations last year. Like, how insane is that to cause damage, destruction, killed during the rioting and still make billions of dollars in donations to your cause? And for what?
Again, I would get more if the Capitol, was stormed, like they say. If the Democratic politicians were out there, like, what's her name? What's that black female's name? She's old as fuck. What's her name?
Maxine Waters.
Yeah, Maxine Waters. That's how relevant she is to me. But she was out there. Good
old Maxine.
Yeah, go to where they eat. Make their lives pretty much a living hell. Find them. Disrupt their lives. And you had all these Democrats, but there was never a Republican out there that said, You know what I mean? They were like, go to where they eat, make their lives a living hell, mess with them, do this, burn it down, burn it down, burn it down, riots this, riot that. Oh, Antifa is nothing more than an ideology. There's no such thing as Antifa. Yes, Antifa is a real around for a long time. It's not an American thing. Antifa has been around since what, like World War II or some shit.
Yeah, they were the Communist Party. Like, that's what people don't understand is like anti-fascists are just communists that were against. That's where the anti-fascist party came from, is with Bolsheviks under the guise of communism fighting against the fascists. Like, that's what it was. It was communism.
And the thing is that people on the right, Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, we're not fascists. But they're fighting against so-called fake fascists. It doesn't matter, because now they are going to think that this is true. Like, what happened yesterday in the Capitol just proved everything right? No. So it gave them that legitimacy to say, look, we told you for years this guy was insane. And now he did this insane thing, inciting a riot in the Capitol building. So, like, that's no, he didn't incite any riot, because he came out and said, go home. Stop. It doesn't matter, because that's the narrative. Well, the narrative, they can say what they want, but then we know the true narrative. And if more Americans would stand up and say, no, that's not what happened. And the famous words of a certain who played in a movie, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Wait. Not what you know. Guess the movie. Hold on. It's not what you know. It's Denzel Washington. Right? It's Denzel. Yeah, it is Denzel Washington. It's not. Hold on. It's not because I remember him pointing. It's not what you know. It's what you can prove. It's what you can prove. Right. Hold on. Okay, give me a hint. Michael's having time. Give me a hint. Talk in it. Oh, Training Day. Yeah, there you go. You got it. I knew it was Denzel Washington, because I know that term. But I don't see. But it's a perfect. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove, and that's the thing about fifth generational warfare that we're in, is that it doesn't matter if it's true or not. I'm down for a little warfare. What everybody believes is true. I'm down for a little warfare, so I really don't give a shit. But that's the thing that we're in, is like that's why, like, if conservatives, because of this, they got the legitimacy to censor conservatives, because they're dangerous, right? They're seditious insurrectionists that are calling for the overthrow of the U.S. government. That's what they're going to call. I mean, and you're right. And all their conservative comments, they're dangerous. They're dangerous speakers. And here's the thing. I got a 30-day ban on Facebook. I told you that yesterday, right? Yeah. 30 days, dude. You know why? You did. I called somebody a little bitch. And here's the thing with Generation Xers are not. Like it doesn't. You can't do that. Listen, here's the thing. Before I even sent the comment out, it asked me. They was like, "Hey, one of your words goes against our community standard." So I deleted. Do you really want to say that? Yeah, they did. So I deleted the bitch, and I said punk, and they still gave me a 30-day ban. And then they give you the option of they have all these options now. They're like, this punishment. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. And I just said, it's too harsh. I mean, I wanted to call him a bitch, but you guys wouldn't allow me. It's like, it's like, I toned it down a little bit. You could at least give me credit, man. On, dude. He's more bitch, a punk, geez. So I got a 30-day ban hammer. I can't get back on the book of face until February, but, I got Parler and MeWe and, all my other platforms, so. But I can't post it. I'm glad you're an admin, I think, on a couple of them. I run the Hooch page, so like, aren't you an admin on guy that doesn't post anything? Aren't you an admin on the Grizzle Grunt too? No, damn, not that I know of. You didn't make one. Anyway, so I stay clean so that we don't get banned for things. I try to keep it clean as much as possible. I put some memes out there, but I think there's only been one thing that I've ever posted that got reported, and that was because of the Barrett 50 cal meme and it came back. Thing. And like, they were like, I was making fun of it. It's like, this contains misinformation, and it's like, I know it contains misinformation. That's why I posted it. Who decides what's misinformation now? some fact checker that sits in
Facebook.
their mom's basement jerking off to their own ass in a mirror. I mean,
no, they're fact checkers that are making $50,000 to $60,000 a year, sitting in their office chairs, deciding what the truth is.
They decide the truth. You know, what if some independent fact checker like you decided to fact check shit, and they would still call it bullshit because you're not them.
That's like the meme that's going around of Paul Revere, like the British are coming, and they're like, see why this is misleading or whatever underneath it, if like Facebook was back in the day.
No, dude. I think we're seeing some dark times here, and it's not going to get better. If anyone thinks like the right Trump supporters are just going to sit back and be like, oh, it's okay, we're just going to go home and we're going to accept this, it's not going to happen, dude. And here's the thing: when I see all you radical leftists out there, the same hell you gave us for 4 years, we're going to bring it right back at you. We're not going to extend the olive branch. We're not going to shake your hands. We're not going to kumbaya with you. We're going to do the same hell you gave us. And I'm not talking about violence. I'm talking about just making your candidate look like the total buffoon he is. And it's going to go on for 4 years.
I tell you, like, he's only going to make it 2 years. Kamala taps his shoulder and tells him to get out.
I'll give him less than a year until he signs everything, because they got the House, they got the Senate, they got the White House, and until he signs everything he wants, and then he's going to back out. Then first he has to stack the Supreme Court. So it's come be like, look, I didn't do that. I didn't have nothing to do with that. You know, that was the former president, Biden. He stacked the Supreme Court. He packed the Supreme Court. So he's going to pack the Supreme Court.
And she'll just run him right underneath the bus afterwards.
She will. He's going to pack the Supreme Court so that they can take away the guns. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and
I know they're gonna. I want to talk about it in the next segment when we come back from the break about that, because that's a really big issue that nobody's really of this, is the fact that the First and Second Amendment in the next 4 years are going to be dramatically changed from what you knew it was.
I mean, they're talking about, what are the words they're talking about? Nancy Pelosi put out a bill talking about getting rid of mother, father, stepfather.
Oh yeah, that is like, all that stuff is just like buried underneath all the things that have happened recently. But we'll talk about it on the other side.
And a woman.
A man and a woman. Yeah, that was stupid. All right, we're going to take a short break and see on this side.
Be sure to check out the Facebook page at the Hooch Podcast to follow along with new releases every week, as well as check out our Teespring store, where we have awesome apparel, as well as the Hooch Podcast on Anchor FM. You can check it out here, or you can go on Spotify and iTunes, as well as Google Play. Anyway, we'll be back in a second.
Yeah, I look like Tim Pool was 8 by me.
So
and I am now Tim Pool.
So if anybody out there watches like Tim Pool, he's awesome. He's awesome YouTuber. He's an awesome, citizen journalist. He has an awesome channel. Look at Coy. Doesn't Coy look like he ate Tim Pool himself?
I did.
And then ate himself again. And I'm not fat shaming him. He is a large man, but
he totally is fat shaming me.
But we're fat. We do that to each other.
Okay, so speaking of shaming, though, one of the things, like, joke with before going into the heavier stuff again, was the fact that when Congress was sworn in and they had the prayer, they ended it with a man and a woman. And it's like, wait, what? What?
What about?
I'm sorry, like,
I saw this meme. It's like,
how dumb do you have to be to not understand that amen is so it be, or a praise, or like a hallelujah, anything to do with a man? It's like, I'm just going to take everything that says man in it and replace it with whoa man,
because you're woke man. But most leftists are stupid as fuck anyway. I constantly say that. I don't even take it serious anytime they talk to me. But I saw this meme. It said menu, MENU, and it said menu. Menu.
Yeah.
Abdo women. That's fucking ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I get you, everybody trying to be inclusionary and all these things, and using gender neutral pronouns and all these other things. It's like, dude, but at a certain point, you just sound silly.
No, fucking fuck stick. See, he's the nice guy. Yeah. He says silly. I say you're a piece of shit. You sound dumb as fuck. You sound dumb as fuck, and no one should take you serious.
Honestly, like I'm more of a moderate as I really am. Like there's certain things I agree with, and then other things I think you're just being dumb. And it's like, why are you doing this?
Am I a moderate?
Like the whole thing is like what?
Am I a moderate?
No.
What? No, I'm not.
No. Definitely not be considered a moderate in today's
climate. What would I be considered, Coy? You've known me for how many years now? What would I be considered?
Definitely a right libertarian. Okay, so
like the Hooch podcast has been around since 2016. 17. When did we?
Yeah,
16. Was it 17 or 16?
16 or 17.
Nope. Yeah, there they go. So it's 16. Hang on.
Yeah, you got the dogs barking in the background, so it happens.
2017. Let's say 2017. Yeah. So, have I ever been a moderate at any time, or have I been
No.
Now, would you consider me a right wing extremist?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I think libertarian, and that's where you've always said. Like, I've been a moderate. Like, I didn't vote for Trump at all either time. Like, and I'll be the first one to admit that. I didn't like the guy to begin with. I don't like him now. I like some of the things that he did policy wise, but I didn't like.
For podcast reasons, Coy's joking. He does love Donald Trump. You know, just letting you know. Just trying to control some dialogue here.
But here's the thing: is like with some of the things that they've advocated for when it comes to like health and security and all the other things, those are fine. But then you came out with this thing where like we're gonna like if we had universal health care, then it would all be based on race, because that's what they're advocating for from the CDC right now, is giving vaccines based on race. And it's like, why would I be okay? Anyone be okay with that? Like you were fine with advocating for healthcare for all. Sure, fine, we can discuss those things. But then you're gonna say, but then we're gonna base it on healthcare on race.
So great.
And then I'm like, no,
I got it.
Fuck that. Like that.
I got something. I got it. So most black people are anti-vaxxers anyway. They don't believe in vaccines. They don't believe in that shit.
Because they don't exactly have the best track record of the U.S.
based off of what.
That's all I'm saying.
But so they don't have the best track record based off of what.
They gave him syphilis last time.
Right? So most black people are very, very like, ooh, I don't know, man. I don't trust the government. So why are they trying to push black people to?
Well, that was like, that was one of the things, is like they're trying to push
minorities.
They say that the minorities need it first, and it's like, doesn't that like you want to push an experimental medication on minorities? Doesn't that sound a little fucked up?
Huh?
Just a little bit.
Say it again. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh wait, like, that sounds like the syphilis.
Like, but if you really wanted to be like based on race, like, yeah, I think all white people should get it. I don't know if that thing's fucked up or not.
No, it shouldn't even be about race.
At least the military, give it to those crazy fuck sticks.
Disclaimer. Coy and I are not advocating for anything racist at all. We're just saying in general. You know, they're pushing pretty much for black people, minorities, to get this vaccination, this unknown vaccination.
An experimental vaccine that was forced through in a year.
Pfizer and Moderna.
With barely any testing.
Who is Pfizer?
And they want to get it.
Yeah,
first.
we want them to get it first.
Yeah, Pfizer and Moderna.
Yeah, let's test it on them.
The Moderna shot takes 2 shots, and it apparently feels like a living fucking hell when you get it. So yeah, sure, let's push it on the minorities first.
So here's the thing. In my occupation, you know, it's not required right now. So I had to take there was a survey they put out through email. And it was like 3 questions about COVID. And it was like, would you be willing to take the COVID? Fuck no, pretty much. Nope. So I was talking to my supervisor.
Because you're black, Michael. They want you to take it first.
I was talking to my supervisor. Fuck no. I was talking to my supervisor, and I was like, hey, Sarge, I'm just letting you know, they're not making us take it right. But I guarantee they're going to force us to take it. Because why? Because it's a liability thing. Any first responders, frontline workers, anything like that, they can't force you to get the shot stuck in your arm. They can't. Ultimatum. Well, if you don't want to take
either take it or get fired.
Get fired. I said I will walk in that motherfucker not giving a fuck like I do every morning, and I will walk out not giving a fuck. And I will. I will say, oh, well, kiss my ass, and I'll walk out. And I told my supervisor that. I said I will walk in this motherfucker not giving a fuck, and I will walk out not giving a fuck. And he just started laughing, and he walked. He's like, "Here's your fucking crazy. You're crazy." I was like, "I'm just telling you."
That's exactly
what's going to happen. Just like I had a friend in up north. She's a nurse. That's another whole story about had a friend, but she's up north and
had a friend.
She was told that they have to get it or face termination. So what do you think she did? She has kids. She has family. She has support.
Gotta take it, man.
What is she just going to quit based off some fear? Like, oh, her? No, she took it. So here's the thing with that shot. That shot, like you said, has not really been tested. We're going off a hunch. Hopefully it works. So for
maybe
a respiratory infection like this one, how come we don't have a vaccination for pneumonia, whatever you want to call it? How come we don't have a
pneumonia?
Well, it's spelled like that.
The P is silent.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying pneumonia.
Why do you make
Why can't we
difficult?
just say it how it looks? Pneumonia. That's what it looks like to me. Pneumonia.
Why can't fuck be spelled with a PH?
Yeah, exactly. Fuck. But how come we don't have a vaccination for that? Because that kills the fuck out of it. Vaccination, it doesn't stop anything. People still get the flu when they get the vaccination. But all of a sudden,
well, because this is a virus, it's not an infection.
Okay, well, the pneumonia is a virus.
Pneumonia.
The flu, they say is an infection. It's they put it in the same category as a cold, which is a high level cold, but it's still a virus. Anything that attacks your immune system and can kill you.
I'm just saying if they could get, here's another one, I guess, the black community too. If they could get.
What do you know about? Wait, hold on. First off, you can't talk about the black community.
Let me finish, and you'll understand where I'm going.
You ain't black. That's what black people.
I am 1% black. Okay. 1%.
Okay, continue.
That makes me black. Good. God, I got the one drop. No, but I was gonna say the fact that it took them a year to get a vaccine for a new virus, the novel coronavirus, and they still don't have one for HIV, and they're similar to each. They're not similar to each other, but they've used the vaccine is similar to what AIDS is.
Listen,
they were able to get it, but they still yet to do anything to help with AIDS and HIV.
Okay, so
with that. So I'm just saying,
let's go
all the money that they've spent in this research, they have not been able to get any of that.
So let's go in another direction. So let's put something more into perspective with the COVID or whatever you want to call it. SARS, MERS, COVID, Corona, whatever. It's all the same. Right. Yeah, it's SARS, whatever SARS. It's a form of SARS, right?
Yep.
What about tuberculosis? Tuberculosis is pretty close to what Corona would be. It is. Tuberculosis is more of an infection. It can really fuck you up in this long term. Haven't they been telling us that once you have Corona, it stays with you for the rest of your life? Your respiratory.
There are long-lasting effects.
It's long-lasting effects that you can never really get rid of, kind of like tuberculosis. So how come? Yeah. And I'm not the smartest guy, but how come they haven't come up with a vaccination
I ain't
for it?
The smartest cookie.
I'm not. I never claimed to be. I'm just a fucking genius at fucking random shit. But how come they haven't come up with a vaccination for
TB? I mean, they do.
No, there's not a vaccination.
Yes, they do. They have the TB shot. What are you
talking
about? The TB
shot only checks for freaking tuberculosis. It's not a vaccination, dude. I have to get a TB. day or every year.
Now you're making me question everything that
Yes,
I know
I'm
about
telling you, I
medicine
get a
now
TB
after
shot.
being an EMT, and you're making me forget things, and I
Listen,
don't like it.
the-
It is making me uncomfortable.
with that little shot they put under your skin, you're talking about, right? That only checks for tuberculosis, not a vaccine. So it's,
No. That you're okay.
Stop.
Enough with medicine, because you're gonna drive me
I'm
insane
gonna
with
drive
this,
you
because now I
insane.
have
So
to do research now.
that
You're an
little
asshole.
shot. So let's make sure Coy and I are on the same sheet of music here. Are you?
Because I think you're thinking of something completely
No,
different.
listen to me. Are you talking about the shot they inject under your skin? Remember that?
No,
In the military,
no. You're thinking of the smallpox shot.
No, I'm not. Shot.
Thanks.
Boy, I'm not a freaking idiot.
Okay, which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about
Jeez.
when you stick your forearm out and they inject that little needle under your arm and under your skin, and you get that bubble. And they say, don't touch it, don't rub it, don't do anything to it, come back in 3 days. That's not the smallpox. The smallpox is done in your freaking upper shoulder here. That's the one where they poke you in the scabs and you can't touch it or touch your face. I know the difference.
Yeah.
That's smallpox. I'm talking about TB.
Yeah, but they do have TB vaccines, so that's not what you're thinking it is.
Okay, look it up, because I know you're in your computer right now. Look how they check for TB.
I did.
Oh, look how they check for TB. How do they check for it?
Okay,
Not the vaccination.
TB testing is what you're wondering,
Yes,
right?
If there's a TB vaccination, why don't they just give us all the TB vaccination and we'll be good? We don't have to worry about the shit anymore. There's no TB vaccination now.
The TB skin test is performed by injecting a small amount of fluid called the tuberculin in the lower part of the arm.
Oh,
so so you are thinking that, but there is a TB vaccine.
okay.
That's
Do you have it?
Thinking of. Yeah, I read it up.
I mean, do you have the TB?
Well, it was like
have we ever got the TB vaccine in the military?
You
No.
get TB usually when you're younger or older, but it doesn't matter.
No, never got it.
We got off on a tangent.
I'm just saying. Okay, let's get off the TB. Let's go to something else. AIDS or HIV.
Yeah, which was what I originally able to get a vaccine.
So let's go back to your
pushed
point.
out for COVID, but not for
HIV
AIDS.
has been around since what, 1980?
Yeah, it was 80.
It's been around a lot longer, but the pandemic
guess who worked on that too?
Right?
Guess who?
Carter or Reagan?
No, Fauci. Dr.
What?
Fauci.
Holy shit! So let's talk about it.
I know if you didn't know that.
So if the HIV pandemic, it was a pandemic. It was crazy. It killed fucking Freddie Mercury.
It was insane.
Dude. And Freddie Mercury died from that shit. And that other tennis player, what's his name? That died from it. The black guy. Forget his name, but you know what I'm talking about. How come they didn't come up with a vaccine then? Damn it, because HIV was running rampant. But all of a sudden, a year
because
after,
it was killing the black community. They didn't give a shit then. Like, come on. Like, nobody gave a shit.
Said, there we go.
Especially when crack cocaine was killing people. They didn't.
Right? Just like you said, it's killing the black community. Yeah. Full circle. Here it is. The COVID vaccination comes out. They want to give it to the minority community first.
I know. It's like, why? Like, for people that are completely about like social justice, like you're talking about like giving an unproven vaccine first, is like that is the most racist sounding thing I can think of in my mind.
Yeah,
but that's my opinion.
And Jim Crow Joe wants to push it more. He wants more lockdowns. He's talking about pushing lockdowns until the fall of this year.
Yeah.
Mass.
Oh, speaking. This is what I wanted to get to later in the broadcast, which was talking about this, is the fact that Joe Biden, like everything that has happened recently has changed the way that America is going to work over the next 4 years. And if you don't believe me, you should really start paying attention, because free speech is definitely going to take a nosedive here, because they're going to say that certain speeches aren't, all speeches are equal, or more equal than others, if to quote Animal Farm there. Right. And they're going to say that conservative speech is dangerous and insidious, and that should not be allowed on any platform. And you're going to start Parler get shut down. You're going to see conservative pages get shut down. You're going to see it'll start with the extremists first, and then it'll start narrowing its way in until there is no voice. And you think that things are bad now, right? Like, they're the cause of their own problem. They're the cause of what's happening right now because of what they're doing. So they're gonna start taking away voices, and then people are gonna feel like they have no recourse left, and so they're gonna create radicals. This is the same problem in the Middle East, right? Is that you create more terrorists by your actions and what you do, and that's the same lesson we should have learned before, but we didn't. You create these radicals by oppressing the people that you're trying to remove, right? So like the more you oppress them, the easier it is to radicalize the opposition. And that's a lesson we should have learned in the Middle East. People still aren't fucking getting it for some reason. So they're trying to end radicalization of the right by creating more radicals is what they're going to be doing. And that's a problem. And the way that they're going to try to deal with it is first they're going to the Second Amendment, because they're already working on that. They've already been working on that. They're going to take away the Second Amendment and say, you're not responsible. All these Trumpers, all these Trumpists and Trumpism people should not have these weapons. And for the safety, we must remove them from their homes. And that's what they'll do. And they'll come in and they will start taking guns. Like, extreme scenario, sir. They'll say, oh, they're not going to come for your guns, but they're more than likely, yeah, after this, they've got both chambers and the presidency, they're coming for your guns. It's without a doubt. There is going to be another weapons ban coming up on the horizon, and nobody's going to fucking stop it because of what happened on the Capitol. Not a single one of the Republican representatives are going to have a fucking spine to want to be labeled as seditionists with the rest of them, right? Because that's how they've always been. And then after they come for the guns, they're going to come for the First Amendment and say that your speech is dangerous and that we should regulate your speech, how dangerous it is. And they won't even have to do it themselves. They've got Twitter and Facebook to do it for them. So there you go. That's kind of the layout for the next 2 years until Biden gets replaced by Kamala, and who knows what the hell she's going to do. So, Michael, in your opinion, what do you think? Do you think that's accurate? As soon as he's done having a coughing fit,
I think you're pretty accurate on what you said. There's a lot of spineless conservatives out there. You have some true conservatives out there that are really trying to, stick to their guns and stick to the Constitution and fight for the people, but they're the minority,
Yeah.
I think,
and they're already talking about removing them.
Yeah. You got Joe Biden, and he's not going to last long. And I'm not, before people start listening and thinking we're wishing bad on the president, soon to be president. We're not.
No, he's 80 something fucking years old.
78 years. He's already got signed.
He's not 70. He's like 80 something.
No, he's like 78. He's in his late 70s. But he has signs of mental illness. It's a known fact. And then the 25th Amendment will kick in.
78. Yeah, you're right.
Kick in. And am I right? Come on, dude.
Yeah, you're right. I was just checking.
Okay. The 25th Amendment will kick in, and then Speaker of the House will deem the President of the United States not fit. He's not fit.
Probably going to set the precedent with Donald Trump, and that's one of the other things I was going to bring up before we ended it. Was the fact that Pence is apparently pissed.
Pissed about what?
Even though another story said he's pissed of how Trump was treating him, and then his chief of staff out of the White House.
Mike Pence can eat a big bowl of baby fish.
I know how you feel about Mike Pence.
Fuck that guy.
But the point is that Mike Pence is pissed off, right? And you've got multiple senators and Republicans calling for the 25th Amendment to be used to remove Donald Trump.
Yes. Of course they are.
Not by the 20th. But
they're not going to wait 14
days.
Dangerous Come on. Dude.
They're not.
Or what?
But there was a report that said Pence that says he wasn't going to do it.
Pence.
I don't see the point of trying to remove him now. But it's like, if you want to set the precedent of using, because the 25th has never been used, right? It's come close, I think, but it's never been used. So they have to set the precedent of removing Donald Trump, they can use it to remove Biden because of his mental health.
Here's the thing.
In a couple of years. And then Kamala becomes president.
Here's the thing. You know,
theory. Maybe it's a theory.
I called out Mike Pence on my page, the Grizzle Grunt.
Yeah.
And people were up in arms about it. They're like, I can't believe you would say that about Mike Pence. I can't believe. And I said this a year ago. I said Mike Pence is a wolf in sheep's clothing. He is the LBJ to Donald. You know? So we all called it. Did I send you that text before it happened that Pence was going to freaking vote Biden in and the Insurrection Act and there was going to be riots in DC?
Yeah.
Did it happen?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, like some of the other stuff that went along with it was a little bit.
Some of that stuff was.
Like, for the most part.
It was kind of like I read that part. I was like,
I won't repeat it here because it was like, wow, you guys are weird.
It was a little crazy, but you know, there's people getting arrested here soon. Believe it or not.
No, without a doubt, there's going to be
Donald Trump.
There is going to be a purge.
And here's the thing: Donald Trump, the whole Trump card thing. He's going to throw the Trump card out there, and he has a lot of shit on people. And you going to go out. He's not going to go out without a bang. He's going to be like, okay, I lost, but guess what?
It's curious. It's going to be curious what he's going to do. He's already pledged to do a peaceful transition of power, which is a good thing. That's what he should do. I mean, that's a responsible. I just don't know what happens from here because like once Biden is inaugurated and they start pushing all of this insane stuff with critical race theory and everything else that they have planned, the Great Reset, which for the plagiarists in chief isn't an original, by the way. If you didn't know, Build Back Better is actually a European slogan. Because nothing from the Biden administration is going to be original. It's going to be regurgitation of somebody else's words.
Same with saying she
celebrated freedom.
She celebrated Kwanzaa. I'm like, whatever, dude. Shut.
No.
She smoked weed.
Have you heard the recent
Snoop Dogg and what?
The recent one about like them saying that the plagiarized from of like a story about the little girl who like was lost in the crowd, and then they asked, "What do you want, little girl?" And she's like, "Freedom," because that's what she apparently said. But it was like about a story that Martin Luther King told, and it's like, God, that is, I have no faith in.
Just hearing that is making my anxiety.
Yeah, it makes my anxiety shoot up too, for sure. And there is a signal. That's cool. Yep, definitely let it out. My I don't know what is up with my internet connection today. It is a pain in my booty. Because you went big to really, really small, so I'm just going to keep it on my face. It's a big dick. Michael's got a big dick. That's what I'm told. Anyway. All right, I think this is today. There was one other stuff I wanted to cover, but it's just... There's just too much right now. I think this is good for the first episode of the year. We'll try to push more out later on. For sure. I'm going to try to do back to the TLDC so I can get more of the news happening, or at least a day behind. I've been really bad about that. I really wanted to get more of those. I was going to do it last year, but there's just too much. And now this year is already starting to be too much.
Yeah, so anyway. I'm definitely going to get back into the TikTok short, the quickies, or not TikTok, the Hooch quickies, the Hooch shorts.
The Hooch quickies! And
we're going to start doing, I think we're going to call it the quickies now, because I like a quickie every now and then. So, I'll just pick a topic, do a quickie, 3-minute rant, and we're going to start pushing those out again. Right now I'm banned from Facebook. So if you're trying to send me a message or anything, you can write me on Messenger, but I can't see anything that's coming up on the page. So my birthday is in 3 days. 2 days? When's my birthday? The 9th. So if
I've never been good
wish me happy birthday.
Anyway.
Yeah, I can't. I won't see it.
Happy birthday.
Don't think I'm ignoring you guys. I can't reply.
Michael is in the doghouse of Facebook, so
yes, because I called somebody a bitch.
All right, well. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and YouTube and all the other places. Go on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes. We're on those things. The Hooch Podcast. Remember it. Love it.
Hey, and
yeah,
here's
we'll be back with you.
And hold on. Here's another thing that we're going to try to do. Get some more apparel. We're kind of weak on the apparel game, so we're going to step up our game a little bit.
Yeah.
And try to push some more apparel out there, man. We got almost 4,000 of you guys that follow the Hooch and listen to us. So, wear a Hooch t-shirt. Also, make sure you follow my new TikTok, the Bro Kitch. Patriotic.
The Bro Kitch.
Blowing it up right now. I went from 800 followers to almost 8,000 in less than a week. Make sure you guys are following my page and some thirst trap there. So for all you single moms out there, I love you. I'm kidding.
Thirsty. Keep thirsty.
All
right, that's it for us this week. We'll see you guys next time. We love you, America. And we'll see you later. And
we're out.
Out.
According to your Facebook page, we aren't friends.